Can't do that, and so just life right now feels out of sync and everything's jarring. And then in the middle of that,
Yeah.
we have this. And today is a hard day. I'm not going to pretend it isn't. Death is real, and its sting is sharp, and we're feeling that today. And in the midst of everything that's going on in our world, I think we're feeling that in a little heavier way, and I understand that. Grief is real. We're experiencing that today. I'm not going to try to make that go away. I'm not going to try to pretend that's not a thing. We're hurting today. Today is a hard day, and I understand. That means today that we'll grieve and mourn, we'll shed tears, we'll hold on to each other a little tighter. It means today that we will recognize what sorrow looks like in each other's eyes, and I want you to know that's okay. And I understand that. And we'll allow ourselves to do that today. And yet, there's also something else going on as we kind of gather and mingle for the last 40 minutes, and there's laughter down there. There was smiles down there when you saw each other and we connected, and we're at a cemetery. How can that be? It's because we're not just here to mourn Anne's death. We're here to celebrate her life. And when we celebrate her life, whether we're 100 people or 10 people, we're going to start smiling. We're going to start telling some stories. We're going to start sharing some memories. And we're going to start eating some good food and cranking up some music, and a party's going to break out as it should. And I want to allow us the space to do that today as well. I think that when we do both of those things, when we allow ourselves to mourn and grieve, and then allow ourselves to sort of smile and have some joy in remembering and honoring, holding those things in tension, it really is this great reminder. That's going to pass here in just a second. It's this great reminder that right in the middle of both of those things is love. And I know none of us know each other, and I just talked to Mary yesterday on the phone. I didn't know Anne. I didn't know your bride. I didn't know her. But even talking with Mary on the phone just a little bit, a daughter, it's so evident that there's so much love in this family, and that Anne was all about family. And so in everything we do today, as we mourn and grieve and as we honor and remember, let us be a people that stands on love. Because I'll tell you, although death is real, death doesn't win. Love wins. Love is still here. Anne's love for you is still here. It doesn't go away. I know that's true because, your love for her is still here as well. And I heard it in Mary's voice yesterday with every word she spoke. Yes, love remains. Love is still here. Love wins. And I believe that love has a name, and his name is Jesus. And Jesus said this. He said, "Come to me, all who carry a heavy burden, and I will give you rest." One thing I love is that he doesn't say, "Come to me if you went to church recently," or "Come to me if you're religious," or "Come to me if you believe this or that." He just says, "All people, come to me, and I'll give you rest." And so this morning we proclaim that for Anne, that she carries no more burden, that she is at peace and is at rest. And we're also reminded that there is a loving God that desires to walk alongside of us and to help us carry this burden of grief and loss today and all the days ahead. So as we begin this morning, let's open with a word of prayer. Will you pray with me? And so, Father, we come to you this morning, certainly with heavy and hurting hearts. We do trust in your goodness and in your love and your grace, knowing that you have Anne in your arms. That does bring us comfort, and yet this is still really hard. And we're hurting and we're grieving. And so we ask that you would continue to be our strength and our hope. I ask that you would continue to walk alongside of this good family in this time, that you would be with them this day and all the days ahead as they learn to live with this significant loss. We begin, Father, by saying thank you. Thank you for the gift of Anne, for her life, for a good time spent, for all that she taught us. Most of all, we thank you for her love for us that remains. We pray all of this in Jesus' name. Amen. I want to encourage you. I think one of the most important things that we do as a human race, as a people, is remember. I know it's true in every one of your homes, you have something that you've placed to remember something. A graduation, a birth, a vacation, and certainly we place photos of our loved ones who have passed away in our homes. It's not because we think we'll forget them if we don't, right? That's not a thing, of course not. We just recognize there's value in remembering and telling those stories and in honoring in that way. And so I want to give you a moment. If you have a memory or if you have something that you just think, this is what I remember about Ann. You don't have to come up here. We're obviously a small group, and I think there's some value in saying, I remember this, and here's a good word about Ann. So would someone like to say a good word? I know it's hard. I'm not putting anybody on the spot.
I'll do it.
Yeah, man.
I remember Grandma's always being there for all of us. Anytime we needed something, Grandma showed up and get it for us. Anytime it was a hard time, Grandma would be there for us. She was always there to support us, encourage us, and motivate us. There's never a doubt in her eyes that we did anything wrong. Grandma's just always accepting of all of us.
Good, man. Good. I know that you all have a lifetime of stories and memories. I know you do. And I know that being out here and we're cold and it's just a heavy day. So listen, I don't want you to think as we kind of drive away later, oh, I didn't share, I didn't think. No, don't think that way. Because listen, it's the rest of your life. For the rest of your life, you're going to share these memories and these stories. It's not about this moment. So what I'm trying to do is begin something that's never going to end. And so I believe that the way Ann's life continues to change the world, it's actually through the memories and the stories, told by the people she loves the most, and that's you guys and so many others. So I want you to leave here with this great resolve today, that you're always going to be looking back and sharing those stories and talking about Grandma, and when something reminds you of her, you're going to say, oh, God, this reminds me of that one time when she, and the whole room's going to fall apart laughing and tears and all of it, because love remains. So leave here with this resolve to continue to share these memories and these stories. I want to read a passage to you from the Bible because I believe it's going to help us remember in a different way. And this passage gives us a little glimpse of heaven and what it will be like and what it is. And so hear these words. It says this: I heard a loud voice from the throne saying, look, God's dwelling place is now among the people, and he will dwell with them, and they will be his people, and God himself will be with them and be their God, and he will wipe away every tear from their eyes. And there will be no more death or mourning or crying or pain, for the old order of things has passed away. And he who is seated on the throne, Jesus, said, behold, I am making everything new. So today I believe we're all faced with this challenge of what will we remember as we look back on Ann's life. Maybe it's just time spent or a meal shared together or something she taught you. I wrote down a few things. Ann was loved, and Ann loved well and was well loved. And as I wrote that, I thought, that sounds really, sounds like that would be something I say all the time. I don't say that at every service. I'm not the kind of guy that just hits print and, right? Like, this is stuff I wrote down from my conversation with Mary yesterday. And it was so obvious that her life was all about others. I'm going to repeat that several times. So I don't know your name, but
I'm Andrew.
Andrew, when you talk about her just being there for you, always cheering you on, always supporting, I hear you and I'm like, yeah, that's a consistent theme. Always about other people. That's worth remembering, you guys, and that's worth honoring. I think one of the ways we honor her, even in this crazy season, is we go back to our neighborhoods and say, how am I going to make this about my neighbors? How am I going to make this season about other people? Because that was Ann's heart, always about others. She was a hard worker, 30 years as a nurse. You don't sign up to be a nurse because it's easy. And you don't sign up to be a nurse because you're going to get rich. You do that because you care about other people. That matters. And I actually wrote down she was someone you could count on. I wrote down that she was a 2 a.m. kind of friend. At 2 a.m., no matter what was happening, you could call her and she would be there for you. heard that in Mary yesterday. I also heard that she was tough and she was strong, and that's worth remembering. She was kind and she was giving and others focused, and it was always about you guys. It was always about family. It was always about family. Her time giving back with animals in the Aussie Rescue Foundation, her love of travel. I know that her time spent with you in places like Hawaii and Mazatlan, eating good lobster and watching the sunset. Bro, those are good memories, man. That's the good stuff right there. I love that. I think it's worth remembering the good mom, and the good grandma, and the good sister that she is. It's not a was, it still is. And I certainly think it's worth remembering 56 years of marriage. 56 years, man. Listen, I know you guys didn't stay together that long because it was easy. I know I'm married. Like, marriage is hard, right? It's ups and downs. It's daily work. 56 years, that's called character and integrity. And that matters. And that's worth honoring, and that's worth celebrating in your family. That matters. And so I read this passage to you today because we can look back on her life, yes, but we also remember her right now. And this passage reminds us that she has been made new. There is no more cancer. There is no more pain and no more struggling. Her body works better than all of ours. She runs faster and is stronger than anybody on this planet. It means that her mind has been made new. So she's able to recall every memory of every moment spent with you guys, and it's good. Can you imagine being able to replay your life? Every single moment, every sunset, every time, every birth, every celebration. She sees that right now with perfect clarity, and it's good. We must remember her in that way now. And we also remember that there's been some glad reunions. And I know this is hard. I mean, Shauna's right there. This is her spot as well. But listen, there's already been a time when Shauna up there said, wait, shh, Jesus, wait just a second, bro, be quiet. I know that voice. And you could just see Anne, you can just see a mama and her little girl all of a sudden see each other again, and not hobble to each other, I mean run to each other in this glad embrace. I feel like in heaven the music would have been cranked up that day and they would have thought that's a party. And the next day they woke up and it's better. And I don't bring that up to make you feel better. I bring that up because it's true. Because they are together. What a wonderful thing. I know that would have just weighed heavy on Anne's heart every moment of every day. As a parent, I can't even imagine the burden you all carried. I can't. But I think it's worth remembering that now for Anne, that burden's lifted. They're together. What a wonderful thing that is. Eating good food, celebrating. That's a good thing. With her parents, with other folks in your family, on and on and on. There's been some wonderful reunions together. And listen, there will be a day, you mark my words, when we will be together. And I didn't meet your bride. I didn't get to know her. But there'll be a day when I will. There'll be a day when somebody will see me and you'll say, hey, there's that surfer pastor guy from Carlsbad. Hey, come here. And you come over and I'll meet Anne and I'll meet Shauna and we'll all hang out, and that day will be a party. The reality is that death is real and its sting is sharp, but death does not win. Death is not the end. Love wins. Love always wins. And so we are a people